that you would push if an event occurs that you want to save, and it's a little button that's just on the camera, on the external box of the camera. This does not have that. That would be a really nice option for the company to make in the future. Okay, next is your system settings. You touch that, and that's just date and time, your time zone, your language, your default settings if you want to just go back to everything the way the factory had set it, and format your memory card. That just erases everything on your memory card. And then you have this information button, and if you tap that, all it does is bring up firmware information for your cameras. So next is your motion detection settings. So you tap that, and you can choose which camera you want, and then you have your sensitivity adjustment. And your sensitivity adjustments are high, normal, low, and off. And you can set that for each camera. So if you're getting too many false alarms, you may want to set the sensitivity level a little lower. If you're not getting enough alarms, you may want to set it a little higher. And that you can set each camera separately. Then you have your mask area. This is a really nice feature. What it does is it brings up a grid, and it shows the picture, the view of the camera, and it brings up this grid. And say you're getting some false readings from the wind blowing a tree limb or a flag flying on your patio or something like that, you can touch each little square and mask it. Now, when it's blue, it's hidden, and you're masking each area that you want. So when it turns blue, the motion sensing device will not pick up in that area. The camera is still recording the whole picture, but it's just not getting the motion sensing. And so all these open spaces here are being detected by motion. All the blue sections are in the grid are not. Okay, so then next is your network setup, and I am not using the internet on this yet, so I am not going to talk about that. And then you have a firmware upgrade, and I would imagine if there was a firmware upgrade, you would needed to be hooked to the internet or possibly use a SD card to get an update on that. Okay, so that tells you all about your menu options. Now I'm going to show you a couple of other things. This icon with the SD card, the one that's right next to the strength meter, if you touch that, that brings up a calendar, and that's your event calendar. And like today is July 23rd, and that is highlighted. So touch that, and then it brings up a list of all the events that have happened and what your memory card is available of holding. And like this at the moment showing 2 pages, so I can push this arrow to go to the next page or go back to page 1. And if you just touch one of them, it brings up whatever the camera saw and an event, and you can fast forward it up to 16 speed, and or you can rewind it that way. There's also a trash can if you want to delete that particular video, and then there's your home button to go back. Okay, and the video is excellent. The daytime video is excellent. The nighttime video, I would say, is acceptable. And I would say that the nighttime video, of course, is not as good as the daytime video, but it is acceptable. Now, this is a touch screen, and it is very responsive. So when you're viewing a full, one camera in full, if you touch the screen, it will go to your split screen and bring up all your cameras that you have. If you touch the little power button on the top, just very lightly, one time, it goes into the scan mode. And the scan mode turns off the monitor, so it's asleep, but it's recording. If you touch this button again lightly, it brings up your cameras. And if you touch one of the cameras to look at, if you touch the scan button again, or just the power button one time lightly, it goes into the scan mode and your screen goes dark. Touch it again, and now it is in sequence mode. And I don't know if you can see on the bottom, there's a little blue SEQ. I don't know if you can see that there, SEQ, sequence. So it's going to now sequence through each camera, and it'll stay on each camera for a few seconds. Okay? And to stop that, you can touch the sequence button, and it goes back into split screen. So let me say this touch screen is pretty responsive. Being 7-inch, it's a little small for 4 cameras, but it's not bad. I wish the manufacturer had a 10-inch screen. I think it would be a lot better. But it is very responsive. If you have big fingers, you may need to just get your fingers right on the button a little better. But it does work. And let me tell you what I like most about this camera. First of all, I do like the pop-up kickstand. Very nice feature. I also like the fact that you can use this camera system without the internet being hooked up. If you need to use this, say some people, elderly people, may not have internet access, and they just want a camera to look at their front door and be able to talk to somebody. Well, this camera system will do that. And the installation is easy because all you need to do is get power to the camera, and then this is wireless. This battery is rechargeable, and it will run for approximately an hour to an hour and a half, which is not really too long, but it's enough. And it's so small and portable. Well, if you needed to take it into another room and the battery was drained, well, you just plug it in and let it charge. So that's one of the main reasons I like this, is because the internet is not required. And you do have internet options with an app, and like I say, I'm not using that now, so I can't really discuss that. But this is a nice feeling monitor. It's got a good picture, and for the price that you pay, I think it is a very nice little system. So you get your 2 cameras, you get all the AC cords, and I will say that for my installation, and I haven't actually installed it yet, the cord length, the 14 feet, was not quite long enough for me. So they do sell an extension cable, for a 15-foot extension cable, and I got a couple of those. They're about $11 each. And all this is available on Amazon. And let me say, the customer service is very good. I needed to contact them because at first I wasn't sure what cable to get, and I had a couple of other questions I wanted answered, and they were very responsive and answered immediately through email. And So I think their company is very good, and they have a very good product. And that's about it. I can't tell you any more, except I'm happy with it. The 2-camera videos, the one that, this one is, I told you, it's got a metal housing, and it has a ball and socket. It's a little more expensive than the individual camera that comes in this set. But you can, I believe you can buy this set, and the monitor is compatible with either camera. So the video, I cannot tell any difference. They're both good, excellent, and that's it. Get yourself one if you don't want.